This is the Convene podcast. My name is Maggie, digital media editor. How software company Avalara turned networking on its head and delivered business and bonding at its Fuse Partner Conference. Architects of Connection, Part 3 of Convene's September-October cover and CMP series. Written and read by Barbara Palmer, Deputy Editor at Convene.
In my recent nearly 40-minute-long conversation with Creative Director Bianca Ferrar about Fuse, a 3-day partner conference Ferrar's Houston-based company MadPot Creative designed last year for the software company Avalara, the word networking didn't come up once. It reminded me of what Ken Holsinger, Freeman's Senior Vice President for Strategy, had told me earlier this year about designing for relationship building at events. If you have to put the word networking on it, Ken said, you're probably not doing it right. And judging by its results, Fuse did it right. Avalara's goals for the event, which was the first of its kind for the company, Ferrar said, had been twofold. To let its partners know that the company considered them to be their most valuable assets, and to increase their business. On the first count, participant feedback, she reported, was resoundingly positive. 100% of the partner attendees said that they would like to attend the experience again, and event satisfaction score was within 0.1% of perfection, 4.9 out of 5. And although Avalara had expected that most business deals would come after the event, customers signed contracts worth millions of dollars while still on site, Ferrar said. Anecdotally, she added, partner participants, many of whom attend as many as 4 conferences a month, told Avalara's event staff that Fuse was their favorite partner event they'd ever attended. So here are a few of the things that helped set it apart. Before any decisions were made about the event, Ferrar and MadPot co-founder Luke McKibben were commissioned by Avalara's Director of Events, Danielle Cote, to conduct experience strategy research, including talking to a cross-section of executives at Avalara who are responsible for managing partner relationships. It was a very open, candid process, Ferrar said, and gave Avalara's stakeholders an opportunity to, quote, paint a picture of the event as if there were no limits on resources or on time. Those wide-ranging conversations culminated in an experience strategy report, Ferrar said, which became the event playbook. It's uncommon for company leadership to invest so much time in creating a business strategy for an event, a responsibility that typically is assigned to an events, marketing, or operations team, Ferrar said. This was more like a collective of folks who got together, rallied behind the idea, came up with the dream, and then stayed on board until the end. By involving leadership in creating the event strategy from its inception, Fuse got meaningful buy-in from start to finish from crucial stakeholders, which had many benefits, including smoothing out the budgeting and approval processes. It also elevated Avalara's event marketing team, who were responsible for executing the event, putting them in the driver's seat as business event strategists, charting the course for all of the stakeholders to meaningfully engage, Ferrar said. The event, held November 14th to 16th last year, was envisioned as a non-conference experience offering a balance between leisure and business. The element that was most traditional was the location, the Boca Raton, a luxury resort in Boca Raton, Florida. Along with resort-themed activations and a welcome aboard a yacht, Fuse offered learning opportunities, including a nonlinear experience, experiential space for getting to know the brass tacks of business offerings of Avalara, and a main stage produced by 82 South for our said. We didn't push people through sessions. We just set up the environment. Event designers underline the unconference feel in how they set up the space, for our said, including creating a crescent-shaped main stage, built to be at eye level with participants, and with runways where speakers could move out into the audience. Other details also reduced the distance between speakers and guests and provided subtle clues that the conference was not business as usual, such as the speaker's dress. Women executives wore sneakers, not heels, on the stage. Audience members left to check their emails or just use their laptops during the main stage keynotes, for our said, and we were okay with that. There was no buttoned up, you will be quiet while the CEO is speaking attitude or expectation. One of the most successful content elements at the conference was the Fireside Theater, a custom-built theater inside the conference space that held 40 people, where speakers gave 25-minute presentations, and then guests and Fuse presenters engaged in what Farrar described as non-scripted, intimate, behind-the-scenes, off-the-record conversations, in some cases with speakers who had just come off the main stage. Even though it was for external partners, there was a lot of information exchange that usually is reserved for closed-door conversations. Any kind of questions, concerns, or lessons learned could be discussed in an open group dialogue. The popularity of the theater format aligns with the results of Freeman's Trends Report 2024 Attendee Intent and Behavior, which was released earlier this year. When asked to rank the interactions that are most important in networking at events, 4 out of 5 event participants in the study chose interacting with experts. A trusted, relaxing environment. What was a big surprise, Farrar said, was how much participants engaged in business at the event. The expectation had been that relationships and leisure would come first, followed by business in third place. She also had come in with the expectation that participants wouldn't want to sit in one place for very long. What we found was that people did want to sit and were okay with a 60 to 90-minute focused conversation about business because they were in a trusted, relaxing environment with people who they know well and with people with mutual interests. Even knowing that there were competitors everywhere, all around, people were still very candid and wanted to sign deals and have long conversations. One thing that was not planned, rain fell throughout the entire event. We went to this beautiful resort with tons of outdoor activities, Farrar said, and then we ended up being inside the whole time. But rather than putting a damper on the experience, the wet weather enhanced it. Sometimes unexpected elements like rain can be so disarming, Farrar added. It increases intimacy right away. All of the dining, which had been planned to be al fresco, was moved indoors. There were dining tables in all our experiential areas, and that became a beautiful nesting ground for these deeper conversations.
Event attendees don't want to waste their time anymore. The creator of Braindate, a platform that links event participants with shared interests on what attendees are looking for now.
People can't stand impersonal, one-size-fits-all activations. That's according to Christine Renaud, founder of the Braindate platform, which has been helping event participants make meaningful connections for more than a decade. Renaud is the CEO and co-founder of the Montreal-based company E180 and the creator of Braindate, which uses software to connect people for the purpose of sharing their knowledge about specific topics with one another in conversation. since 2013, when the platform was used at C2 Montreal, Brain Dates have brought thousands of individuals and groups together at live, virtual, and hybrid events around the globe. Convene asked Renaud what she'd learned from the digital-only experiment forced by the pandemic. And she said, "My main takeaway from the last 4 years is quite simple. People don't want to waste their time anymore. They aren't interested in superficial conversations. With all the content that is now available online, they'll travel for highly curated and transformative experiences and conversations. This sentiment was true before, but it resonates even more strongly now. People feel anxious in social contexts where little thought is given to creating safe and brave spaces for important conversations. They feel uneasy when they have to work the room, often opting to stay in their hotel rooms to work rather than participate in experiences that don't provide value to them. The primary question for event professionals today is, how can I curate self-directed, personalized experiences for each attendee while still fostering a sense of togetherness and community?
As usual, you'll find all the links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, do give us a 5-star review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. For more industry insights, visit pcma.org/convene. Stay inspired, keep inspiring, and until next time.